I think that is one of my greatest motivation to help the man in the corner. This is a copy of the West Indian American newspaper where I worked in the US in Hartford, Connecticut for the past, I worked here from 2019 until I got sick, 2009 to 2019. There I would teach the US citizenship. I was a citizenship guide, and people who leave Jamaica and did not complete their high school diploma, I was a program coordinator. So I would do the intake. So we have like 80 to 100 people, especially from Jamaica, would come. So I would do the intake, and we have like 5 grades, like grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, and people who didn't complete, and people who have never been to school. So I've taught people who like just start saying their ABC, and before they leave, I guide them. They ask us what. So my job is to motivate them to meet their goal. So they tell me what they want to do when they come in the US. Some want to be a doctor. Some want to get their CNA. Some want their license. Some just want to read the Bible. So I would coordinate with the teachers to ensure that they meet their goals. Last year we had one of my most achieved because they set their goal as they enter the class. So I have to guide them to it. So there was a young lady. She want to be a CNA. She want her driver's license. She want her U.S. citizenship. She want to buy her house. She want to buy her car, and she meet all of those goals. Unfortunately, she died Christmas morning in a car accident where 3 people died, and that was that young lady. The other one was Ricardo. He's Ricardo Allen. He was one of my scouts. I taught Ricardo Allen. I taught Dwayne Steven. So it was Ricardo Allen's brother who died, with his sister, with his mom. So all 3 of them, so you can imagine on Christmas morning, his mom is also a part of she helped me sponsor this program. Eagle Scouts in America, it's the highest ranking to be an Eagle Scout. Out of the 28 astronauts, 26 were Eagle Scout. If you join the army in the US, it's like you actually get 3 stripes above the normal person. It take him like 10 years to reach this goal, and 1% of black make it to Eagle Scout. So for me as a simple Jamaican youth living in Hermitage, start a group, it was like history to get 3 Eagle Scout within my 10-year time span. And getting the Eagle Scout, these are what you call badges, merit badges. We have to wake up like 5:30 in the morning. They have to swim a mile. They have to fire a rifle like 20, the marksman, fire bow and arrow, sleep in the snow. Just imagine you put your hand in your fridge. You have to sleep overnight under tent in the snow. For the past 10 years, I would take my group to what is that, just imagine the bobsled team. We have to pull our sleigh from 10 o'clock until 3 o'clock in 3 feet of snow, cook 2 meals in the snow. So I have to train them survival thing. My son can camp. I mean, you're on the camp in the day, you see bear and raccoon and fox running out. And they have to camp outside without tent, survival camp. So when somebody say, boy, this is scout, the simple part of scout, most people would start at scouting at a Cub Scout stage. But as you progress, it get more advanced. That is why Scout don't have stripe. Some man's sergeant have 5 stripes. There's so much ranks, it can't hold on your shoulder. You see the amount of things. So you learn swimming, you learn fishing, you learn to fire bow and arrow. So all these things, you learn electrical installation, you learn mechanic. So whatever trade you can think of, there's like 150 different badges. So they get a merit. So you can do all these things. You do a management, you manage a project for 3 months where you build, some people build like anything. You can build somebody that take you 3 months, and then you get that. So it took us like 8 years for him to get the Eagle Scouts. So I had three Eagle Scouts, and I said once you get the Eagle Scout, you get a pin. The parents, both mom and dad, will get a pin of the son of. So when you drive and you say the son of an Eagle Scout, in 1910, scouting started in Jamaica. So Jamaicans have been going international scouting from in the 50s, in the 60s. So every year would send scouts all over the world. So Devon Ebert was the leader for JC, And Mr. Frank Mayred was a person, because when you're going abroad, you have to be prepared. So we have to go and prepare ourselves, how to cook. Because you're going to be asked to cook, to sing Jamaican song, even if you can't sing. You're Jamaican, so whether or not you have to try to learn how to sing. So we would normally prepare our scouts before taking them abroad. So Devon was supposed to go, and he said what? He was going to live in the United States, because I just joined scouting. My son was like 3 years. So he said, yes, I could take his space. That's how I get the chance to go to the US. So I went with two of his boys. When I went, it was my first time traveling. I was so excited. The two boys did not have a passport, no birth paper, nothing at all. And the camp paid for all three of us. And we only had 1 week to get those items. And we get those time to get a birth paper, it was like 6 months, passport 6 months. And all we did, just put on our uniform, went to the passport office, and just tell them we are going up to represent Jamaica. And within a day, we got a birth paper. We leave and went to the passport, birth paper. You need the birth paper first. Then we got the passport. In a day, the visa was waiting for us. We went here like the morning. We had a flight the Thursday morning. Thursday at 2 o'clock. We got the visa like, in the early morning, like 9 o'clock. I was so excited. I went back to Mr. Mayred. He was at old pastor. He has been around the world. And we told him we had a visa. He said where it is. Because normally, you have to go back 3 o'clock to collect your visa, your book. He said, go back for your visa. And I'm saying, we were so excited just to get the visa this month until we go back for the passport. And when we went back, the passport and everything was waiting for us. That's the strength of scouting. When I moved to the US now, I got a chance of, as I said, to teach at the CI. Then I got a scholarship. But before I went, I was the president for the Hermitage Citizen Association, and I started a homework program. And I see that by my traveling, when I was promoting Jamaica, it's all about the Duns River, the North Coast. So I strongly believe you must check where you come from. And I'm a 100% Hermitage man. So I said, whatever we can find in our community to promote. And that's where we get to find out that Bob Marley, because where I used to live, Bob Marley used to come right next door to me. Because there's a guy by the name of Sangy Davis. He used to cook for Bob Marley. He's a member of the 12 tribe. He's still here now. And Bob, Bunny, all these guys, Peter Touch, all these guys who sing, would come by when we were children. And we said, sure, just another Rasta man. And we didn't pay him not much. And it's when we go abroad, you see weird. But the Bob used to come sing. We don't recognize Bob in our community and all these people until they are more recognized. And that's why I just go back to say that's why I'm having this ceremony. So all these people, Sizzler, Etana, Simone Edwards, Dwayne Stephen, I can proudly say I'm like one of the first person in Hermitage, because Augustown was a community named after Emancipation Day. Augustown is that community, is 150-year-old, community of Augustown. So I was saying before I leave, on the 1st of August, we recognize our achievers. So I had a ceremony in Hermitage, and we give Simone Edwards an award, Sizzler an award, Etan an award, Dwayne Stephen, Michael Rutherford, Jimmy Sinclair, who lived, all of these people live in Hermitage, within the Hermitage, Augustown and Grossman Villa, Pretty Hamilton. So we gave them, and then that's how Simone started her Simone for Children Foundation. She gave back to the community, and then Sizzler would give back, Dwayne Stephen would contribute back to it. So I have started a Hermitage Scout Troop in 1983 by the opposition leader, Mr. Mark Golding, mom, Mrs. Golding, and Professor Golding. But Mrs. Golding was the one that assisted me in starting a scout group. And the reason why we have started it was the time crime was very high. And I said, once I'm going to do something, it must be with most of the boys. So I select from the 5 communities, Hermitage, Grossman Villa, Augustown, and to get these boys to start it with a group of 12 boys. That's how we started the group.
What continues to drive your passion for making a difference in society, especially back at your home community?
For people like Mr. Shevens and what I've got from the scouting, you know, what I've received, you know, part of the scouting, you have to give back. You know, can you imagine you're coming through custom and the very custom officer, he said, Mr. Rhoden, you know, what you up to now? I said, I'm coming to change the life of one more person. And he said, you don't have to do that, man. You do too much already. I mean, at the immigration when I was coming here, and he said, you know, I was one of your scouts. But because he had my passport, I said, well, just put in my, you know. And I said, what school you went to? He said, Arden Prep. But I know that Arden Prep was a long time Cub Scout back. So I said, did you went to Cayman? He said, yes. And I know I've been taking Scout to Cayman over the years. I went to Antigua, Cayman Island. So I said, was it 93? And he said, yes. And I said, he said, you take me to Cayman Island. And then he was we saw Indian. And then I look at him and I said, where are you the guy that won the school spelling bee? Like 93, Jamaica came second in the spelling bee. And that was one of my Cub Scouts. He said no, but he knew the guy. So he came from around the box and he shook my hand and said, you make an impact to me. I think that is one of my greatest motivation to help the man in the corner. He said, he's not the man, he's not the older righteous. You know, we need everyone to convince, but the person in the corner just needs somebody to listen to them. Needs somebody to guide them. And that is why, you know, when church do outreach, I support those churches. Because it's a reason why these guys are on the corner. And that is one of my passion from that person. He died long ago now. But he told me, if he had somebody like me when he was a child, he would not be who he was at that time. And these are some of the things that keep me, not to save the world, but just to try and help one more person. That's just my mission. Jesus tried to do the whole thing and him still say crucify him. So you're not looking for that hallelujah praises, but there's always one more person that need a word